I guess, to all the young cats out there, you seem like a very diverse guy, right? You seem like educated, your history, you seem intelligent, you're well-spoken, you're cultured, right? It seems like you know a lot about your deen. I've been around you, you're practicing. What drives you? How do you maintain that level of, I don't want to say balance, but like structure, right? Like how do you ensure that all those areas are touched upon, or what drives you to do that?
I do have a lot of hobbies, right?
Okay, yeah.
But none of them conflict with each other.
Okay.
So
interesting.
If you want to find that balance, if you want to find a way to make your life work, right? Whether it's work as a engineer, work as a doctor, work as a barista, whether or not you're a practicing Muslim, a not practicing Muslim, if you want to be a runner, a soccer player, it doesn't matter. If you want to find that balance, you just have to make sure that whatever hobbies you choose or whatever identities that you want, they don't contradict each other.
Contradict? Okay.
Right? So if I am...
So complement each other. They should complement each other.
They don't even have to complement.
Okay.
They just don't have to contradict.
What do you mean by that?
Like if you are a practicing Muslim or you want to be a practicing Muslim, maybe being a sommelier is not the career choice for you.
Yeah,
you can't.
Those are those wine taster guys.
Yeah, those are the guys with the little sniffs,
like,
right? The snifter, and they're getting there like
a little
oakiness. All right, a little grape aftertaste. Yeah, no crap, it has a grape aftertaste. It's grape juice.
It's grape juice.
No, the idea of a sommelier is very interesting to me because I feel like I do have a strong palate and I could probably pick up all those different notes, right? The undernotes and the overnotes.
Yeah.
But being a sommelier is not in the cards for me. So I have to find something else to use my taste buds, my magic powers for,
I see.
Right?
Even if you have an inclination to something like that,
yeah,
it's
an interesting
go
thing.
back
Like,
to your
right?
principles.
Like my coworkers have a whole group chat that I'm in, and we discuss barbecue and scotch.
Yeah.
And I have nothing to say on the scotch subject. I can only talk on the barbecue side.
Sure.
But I find it interesting. They talk about the peatiness and the mossiness, and I'm like,
the Barockiness.
I don't know what peatiness tastes like.
Yeah. What is peatiness?
Peat, right? Like I know what peat is. It's this like moss that grows in swamps.
Okay.
But I don't know what it tastes like. Right? I that's not something that I've learned.
Right.
It is. I'm sure it's like a different sensation. But I'm not going to know it. So you have to find whatever hobbies you decide to do in your life.
Yeah.
Make sure that they don't contradict each other. If they complement each other, even better. It'll make it easier to do those things.
Sure.
But if they don't, as long as they don't contradict each other, you can do all of them, and it'll be very easy to do all of them, right? But the moment you decide you want to get closer to the deen, but if you're trying to get closer to the deen, but you have a hobby or something that is the opposite of that, it's going to draw you away. It's going to keep you because you love your hobby, right? You can't get closer to something if you're already close to something else.
So what do you say to someone who already has some hobby that they've developed, and now they're trying to get closer to the deen, and it's just, how do you find that?
I think a lot of people.
Is there a balance, or you just gotta be like, dude, you gotta man up and be like, dude, I gotta like.
I'm a big fan of cold turkey. I think the cold turkey works
you are
well.
Okay.
In many things.
Okay.
Right. I think cold turkey is a great.
And we're not talking about meat here. We're talking about like.
No.
Quitting things.
Yeah, quitting things. Yeah. Cold turkey is probably one of the only ways that I know of to properly break an addiction or a habit or anything. Like you just have to.
But that works for you.
Yeah,
it may
that
not
works
work
for me.
everybody.
It may
else.
not work for everyone.
Sure.
My advice probably would be if you make a conscious decision of what you want, and then go for it. Don't put one foot in here, one foot out there.
Commit.
Commit. Look at what you're doing with your life.
Yeah.
If you want to be a baseball player, commit to being a baseball player. The Orioles need you.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to catch that football, the Ravens will take you. Maybe not. I mean, the Redskins are probably easier to get on.
You get a commission. You're you're all over the place.
No, whatever you want to do, make a decision and then stick by it, man. Man up and just do it. Like, you don't get wishy-washy. Like, I want to learn the violin. Then go freaking learn the violin. Like, don't be that person who picks up 10 different hobbies and then drops 10 different hobbies and then picks up another 10 hobbies. Find something that that you love. Yeah. Make sure it doesn't contradict with the path you want to go on. Yeah. And then just put everything you got into it.
But sometimes I think when some people want to do something like that, right? Mm-hmm. They have this desire or passion, or they're driven by something, right? They want to start something, right? Or whether it's a hobby, a business, a new endeavor, anything, right? There's a monkey wrench gets thrown in there where, people perhaps aren't as supportive, right? Yeah. And so, barbecue karke kya karna hai? What are you going to do with barbecue? Yeah. Mohsin Rehman? Yeah. Well, you're going to be a pit master for the rest of your life, right? Yep. And then there's this young kid, right? And who's struggling. How does that person overcome that obstacle of, hey, okay, my pursuit is perfectly halal, right?
But there's no support.
Yeah, I'm not becoming a wine taster, right? I like drawing. Yeah. Right. And some people are like, oh, you can't draw faces. Dude, come on. This concept of this is halal and this is haram. You're not allowed to do this and you're allowed to do this. Yeah. Right. And I think Islam is much more than that. Yeah. Right. Our deen is much deeper than that. Right. Yeah. And I'm not saying oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. Right. But I think just the notion of prohibition versus things that are allowed. Mm-hmm. Right. One of my teachers, man, he said to me once, he was like, in Islam, everything is allowed except a few things. Mm-hmm. Right. He framed it that way. Right. And when he framed it that way, I was like, oh shit. Wow. Oh my God. Wait. What do you mean by that? Right. Because I was like, wait, what? Come on. Sometimes things sound nice, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you're just talking a bunch of fluff, right? Yeah, come on, man up with me, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, dude, think about it, right? You're allowed to pursue any career that you want. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to marry whoever you want, right? You're allowed to do X, Y, and Z, right? But there's a few things that are prohibited, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's a big circle, right? And those things that happen to be prohibited also happen to be bad for you. Yeah. Right. And there's a deeper wisdom to that too. So I think, having that sort of support when you have this concept of halal versus haram, prohibition versus being allowed, right? I feel like a lot of people don't have that confidence to pursue, forget dreams. That's one thing, but even hobbies, man. I think a lot of Desi culture, you get reprimanded, right? Or
for having a shok.
Yeah, having a shok, having a hobby, or you get snarky comments. Yep. Or from whether it's parents or whoever, classmates or friends, right? It's really, dude, what how does someone overcome that obstacle?
That's a tough one because in our community, right? Yeah. We're a very central community where everyone's got this focus. Yeah. Be a doctor, be an engineer, be this. Sure. You can't look outside of these things. Mm-hmm. This is what you know. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You're going to school to get this done. That's it. Yeah. You can do doctor, engineer, IT, maybe a lawyer. Yeah. And, don't love the lawyers, but lawyers are cool too. Sure. Yeah. And you have this centric point of view that you put your kids on these paths, you put your siblings on these paths, and you forget that this is a person that had their own dreams, mm-hmm. right? They had their own ideas. When I was growing up, everybody knew this. You can ask any auntie in our community. Mohsin was going to be a paleontologist. I loved dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs don't exist.
Listen, Trump. They exist.
They never existed.
Trump.
All that fossil shit is
fallacies.
fake.
Trump fallacies.
It's just fake fossils.
Hey, fossil fuels. Just because you know what the problem is? Prius owners. People who drive Priuses don't know what it means
Model
to
P.
consume fossil fuels. So then their mind reverts back to this state where they start thinking everything's a conspiracy. Prius is destroying America.
I'm a vegetarian.
Clearly, you drive a Prius. Yeah. You can't be a Prius owner. Has my brisket ever been in a Prius? No. Nope.
Oh man. That's part of your grand scheme, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. How did that ever happen?
Yeah. I didn't have this. That's the qudrat of Allah, man. It's qadr.
It's qadr. But yeah, go ahead. So, you were saying just...
I wanted to be a paleontologist. I love dinosaurs. I wanted to study dinosaurs. I was passionate about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to take no for an answer from any auntie. And I remember my friend Haroon, one of my best friends growing up. I remember his mom saying, like, I remember his auntie saying, like, I love that Mohsin knows what he loves. I remember I was in Haroon's living room. We were leaving his house. I think my mom was there to pick me up.
Yeah.
And I remember auntie saying that, and it's kind of always stuck.
That must have been a good feeling.
Yeah, like she's like, all these bache.
Yeah.
Mohsin's the only one at like 5 who knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I pursued it for a long, long time. I have a whole glass case in my kitchen filled with all the dinosaurs and whales and sharks that I've collected over the years, like dug up. And so it was something that I loved. And I wasn't going to let anybody tell me that I couldn't do it.
You're Ross.
Right? No, Ross is me. He is an imitation of me. I did it first.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to let anybody to tell me, right? And eventually, as I got older, I realized that, I want to have a family. I want to settle down. And you're not going to be able to do that with a PhD in paleontology, making $40,000 a year working for the Smithsonian.
Sure.
So I made a conscious decision to change careers, but I kept it as my hobby, right?
See.
I still collect. I still go fossil hunting.
Yeah.
I still read
But there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
Right? You're not like a fossil hunting barbecue guy, a shooting, right? Like you like cars too. You're not doing all that shit at once.
Yeah, everything has a time and a place, and you find that, and that balance doesn't need to be found. Like I'm not driving my convertible every day. I'm not shooting the gun every day.
Yeah.
I am not going fossil hunting every Saturday, right? Things seem to fall into place. If you really love something, then don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. You don't necessarily, maybe you're not doing it the right way, right? Like I didn't end up becoming a paleontologist. I admire paleontologists. I wish I could go on more digs and and visit these places where these fossils have been found. I think that'd be very inspirational moments for me, especially the way I grew up, learning about it. But I now know that, okay, maybe it was a bit of a pipe dream that this would be my career, but it doesn't mean that I can't love it. I can't be a part of that world. So yeah, people are gonna tell you not to pursue your hobbies or your dreams. Tell them to screw themselves. But be realistic enough to know that, okay, maybe I can't be an astronaut, but I can find a way to work in space, right? I can be an engineer.
Sure.
Because not everyone could be an astronaut. You could study anything and everything you want about being an astronaut.
Yeah, but if you throw up all the time, then...
Yeah, if you're throwing up all the time, I mean, people don't realize that astronauts, right, like Glenn Allen, these guys were amazing. Buzz Aldrin, these not only were they astronauts, they were also fighter pilots.
Yeah.
They were physicists.
Yeah,
they were geniuses.
Yeah, they were like the Ghazalis, right? Like
they covered everything. They did and they were good at it, right? Like Neil Armstrong was a Corvette racer. He was a fighter pilot. He was an astronaut. Apparently he was a fantastic barbecuer. And you have to wear all those different hats, and you have
when
like
shit
6
goes
foot
wrong
tall,
up there,
you're 6'4" because can't make these seats for everybody. It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
They need you. They make the spaceship, and you fit the spaceship, right? So they're not making the spaceship to fit your needs because there's weight and balance and all of these things. So they have to find the perfect specimen to do it. So maybe not everybody can be an astronaut.
I see.
It's just not in the cards for everybody. Some people are just not. They don't have the build for it, or they don't have the constitution for it.
Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't mean you can't be part of the space world. It doesn't mean you can't work for NASA and design the chip that gets Mark Rober. Right, he can't be an astronaut, but Mark Rober designed a lot of the tech that went into the rover that's on Mars now. And now he has this dope YouTube channel where he teaches people physics and chemistry. Right. He found, I can't go to space, but I can definitely teach people about space and teach people about physics and use my passion in a different way in that same realm and subject.
Wow, that's pretty dope. That's deep.
Yeah, man.
So still, like, basically pursue your dreams, pursue your passions, and if you can't meet that, right,
focus them in a different direction.
And it doesn't have to be a completely different field.
Yeah.
And don't be discouraged.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be discouraged.
Yeah, sometimes when you're growing up, I had this Indiana Jones image. That's what archaeologists are.
Wow.
Dun, dun, I have a whip. The whip is how I get the artifact. Like, whoosh.
Yeah.
I pull the artifact, I fight the Nazis, and I leave.
Yeah.
In reality, it's probably just some old white guy named Montague.
Yeah.
With like a Colonel Sanders mustache and goatee, digging in the middle of the desert. It's not as romantic.
Yeah.
And so, learn what subject you want to get passionate about or make it your hobby.
Yeah.
And then try to find a way to do it realistically.
Yeah.
Like not everything has to shoot for the moon.
Yeah. And some of the folks who are struggling with maybe getting into the wrong things, right? I think hobbies is a very good supplement to that, right? If you're trying to replace something, right? Like just find a lot of different hobbies, right? Like busy yourself with hobbies.
Hobbies are great.
Yeah.
Keeps your mind strong, keeps you active, gives you something to be passionate about. It doesn't have to be, I have a hobby. You can have many hobbies. Wear different hats, right? Our friend Qasim has 79 hats. Right? The man has a lot of hats.
Okay.
He's not going to just wear one hat.
Yeah.
He's going to have a lot of hats.
Right.
Wear a lot of hats.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I like that. Mohsin Rehman, you can find him at Hal and Al's Barbecue on Instagram. This guy is a chef.
I wouldn't say I'm a chef.
No?
No.
You're a pit master?
Pit master. Chefs are... That's like calling somebody who works in a hospital a doctor.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Interesting.
The guy who became a doctor earned that title. They worked their whole life to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
There's a reason why when women get married and they're like, oh, why don't you practice with your husband's name? Why aren't you Dr. Rahman? She's like, because my husband's not a doctor. Right?
Oh,
the doctor earned that title. And a chef went to culinary school and earned
you're
that
a pit
title.
Master. My apologies.
I'm just someone who likes to feed my friends in a backyard. I don't
Pit
have
master.
a title. I like pit master's cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't earned chef yet. One day.
If you guys are any barbecue questions, inquiries, get at this guy.
Yeah. We can take a question now.
Which
Caller
camera?
number one.
Facebook
caller
Live?
number one. Yeah.
Caller number one.
Beef or lamb? The answer is beef.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason it's called red meat is a protein called myoglobin. You should look it up. There is actually no blood in your steak. It's not a bloody steak. It is just it's water and this protein called myoglobin that's red, and that's what your steak releases.
It's not blood.
Yeah. So caller number 2. Yes, everything is halal. It's in the name. Thank you.
And we'll have Mohsin Rehman 2.0 for the special subscribers.
Oh yes.
for the secret sauce next time.
That's for so this is the day shot, right?
There's
the
a day
show.
shot, yeah.
There's a nighttime show. It's a very, very different content.
Yeah. Where's my phone? We can turn the night shot on right now. There's a different vibe. Hold on, let's do this while we're at it. But you got anything to say for the people, man?
I do, man. Keep it real.
Yeah.
I've heard other people have been interviewed by this wonderful host.
I'm not.
And they've been really boring.
Oh, shots fired. Oh man, Mohsin Rehman, most
they have been very boring.
Most incredible.
So, this is not Hal and Al's opinion. This is most incredible's opinion. Keep it real, man. Like,
shots fired.
Whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit. Just do it.
I like
that. And if you're on this show, just be real and just say it's bullshit. Call it for what it is.
Yeah. Whether
you're talking about barbecue, you're talking about guns, whether you're talking about your political views or, aunties. If you don't like aunties, then just say you don't like that aunties.
I'm going to have some aunties on the show too.
Yeah, they coming.
Yeah, aunties, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.